Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. The reverberations of Anthony Joshua absolutely chillingly knocking out Francis Ngannou, they're still sort of, vibrating through the whole boxing world. I think it was such a picturesque, savage knockout. Ngannou out before he hit the floor, his head ricocheted on the canvas, nasty knockout. And of course, when you think about it, Anthony Joshua, a two-time unified heavyweight champ, guy who's beaten lots of very good men, been 24 rounds with Usyk, even though he didn't win either of those fights. To go 24 rounds with Usyk, you've got to have something about you. Going in with a ranked novice and doing what a world-class elite heavyweight should do to a ranked novice. Despite the fact the ranked novice, had done so well against Tyson Fury and is a big, enormous, powerful unit. I mean, a very intimidating looking guy. No, this is boxing. Ngannou, I've nothing but respect for him. Seems like a really nice guy. Love his backstory, about coming from Cameroon and working in sand mines and all that stuff. I hadn't really heard of the guy before the Fury fight, but I didn't really know anything about him. But yeah, he made a believer out of me. He's a genuine fighting man. But this is boxing, all right? You've got an elite heavyweight in with a novice who's had one fight and lost it. Now, my question is, why on earth did so many people pick Ngannou to win or have a realistic chance of defeating Joshua? Okay, is that a rhetorical question? You could consider it such, but no, I'm going to ask it as a sincere question. Okay, we know that Ngannou did well against Fury, but we also know that Fury looked like he just wasn't mentally there. He looked totally flat. I don't know whether he trained or not. He said he'd done a 12-week camp. If you did a 12-week camp, most of it must have been on the settee eating ice cream, mate, because you didn't look physically there and you certainly didn't look mentally there, and you got floored and, So, okay, Ngannou, probably the best ever performance by a debutant in the history of boxing when you consider the quality of the opposition, regardless of whether Fury took him lightly. Ngannou really sort of made his name off that defeat. His stock shot through the roof. And then, of course, that got him the Joshua gig. But that doesn't answer the question. Why did so many people, including people who are former boxers, including people who have followed the sport for decades, were saying, I think Ngannou's got a chance. I think he might do it. What were you basing this on? Now, I didn't have a bet on this fight. My prediction was Joshua would stop him in 8. I didn't think he'd blast him out like that because Ngannou is a big, tough unit. But I thought Joshua's got too many skills. It's just going to be an easy fight. He's going to box, at his own pace. He's going to do what Fury should have done. But I didn't think he'd get him out of there in less than 2 rounds. But apparently, some of the bookies, I know they had Joshua a favourite, but it wasn't by much. And some of the polls that were done on these boxing channels were picking Ngannou to win. Sometimes, as a percentage, it was like 38% of people were thinking that, Ngannou was going to knock out Joshua. You do have to ask, do people who call themselves boxing fans ever watch the sport? Do they understand it? I don't mean do they understand a left hook from a right cross. I mean, do they understand what goes into being a fighter, what goes into being in the ring? The mental side of it, the psychological side of it. It astonishes me that people gave Ngannou such a big chance. And it smacks of the time when McGregor fought Mayweather, because people were giving McGregor a chance. I thought, this is the easiest money you're ever going to win. Stick your house on Mayweather. Unless he trips over the rope getting into the ring and knocks himself out, he's not losing to McGregor. And in fact, he just took his time. He was happy to give a few rounds away. He knew what he was doing. I don't think he even really trained for that fight, not as hard as he would have done. And McGregor just, he had some basic boxing skills, just like Ngannou, some talent because they're both combat sportsmen, very good at what they did. But this is boxing. And as I said in a previous video, the reason that I love boxing over all other combat sports, and to me it is a Western martial art. They call it the sweet science. It's not a science, it's more of an art form to me. The reason I love it is because you're only allowed to use your fists. No kicking, no grappling, no throwing on the floor, no punching behind the head, no punching below the belt, can't punch on the legs or anything like that. You've got your fists and you've got a limited zone in which you can land those fists. And there are stringent rules. Now, I like that because that takes violence and making it civilized. Civilized is the wrong word, but it makes it, it gives it's so contained a concept that to me, it takes an immense amount of courage to do it. Because if you are allowed to wrestle someone, throw them on the floor, punch them, kick them and so on, it's almost like a free-for-all. And I don't mean that disparagingly towards MMA fighters. I've got great respect for them. They're tough guys. And whether it's Francis Ngannou or some regular guy, a casual like me has never heard of, good luck to you. I hope you're earning your money because you fucking deserve your money. That's why I hate Dana White so much. I think he's a fucking arsehole, the way he underpays those fighters, yet UFC makes billions. But of course, it's the free market. Someone said this to me once, I'm not a communist, it's a free market. Fuck off. As if you even know what the fuck a communist is. No, I hate the fact these MMA guys are underpaid. Good luck to them. But the appeal of boxing is that, and the reason I think boxing is the ultimate, it takes the ultimate courage, is because you are limited as to what you can do. It's kind of like, it's almost like it's almost like your hands are tied behind your back, but your hands are the only thing you can use. You know what I mean? There's a limit to it. And that's why I respect it so much. I respect boxers so much. So I'm just mystified why people gave Ngannou, a guy with one professional fight who is, was he 37, something like that, a chance, any kind of chance against Joshua. I mean, okay, he's a big lump. And if Joshua was to give him a free chop at his chin, Ngannou's capable of knocking him over and probably out. But why did people think Ngannou would be able to do that? Would the world badminton champion stand a chance against a world-class tennis player? Really? Or vice versa? They both got rackets, but they're different disciplines, they're different codes. I don't understand why people thought Ngannou had a chance, any kind of chance. And I think it speaks volumes that people who claim to be boxing fans gave him a chance. I don't mean an outside chance. I mean, a lot of people were picking him to win. I find that amazing, absolutely amazing. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Why do you think people genuinely don't understand what being a boxer entails, what boxing is? Do you think that people just got carried away with the hype, which is possible? Do you think people were putting too much stock in the Fury fight? They probably were. Or do you think people just flat out underrate Anthony Joshua? Let me know what you think. Comments below as usual, and I'll give them a read and answer as many as I can. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and please spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. And also, if you could hit the like button, that would be great. Support the channel, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.